Hello and welcome to another edition in season 7 of the Magenta show. And today we have a very, very colourful set here because we've got the fantastic visionary artist Evelyn Bailey with us. Welcome, darling.
Thank you. Welcome.
I've been waiting a long time to get this young lady on my set, I have to tell you. You really kept me waiting, girl. And I love how colour coordinated we are today.
Yes, the first time I wore this dress and it felt so right.
It did, yeah. I said to Michael this morning, I said, I have to put on some royal blue. I had to put on some blue. And I had to quickly go back to a whole bunch of photographs because I've been wearing a lot of blue in season 6. Now, I can't wear the same outfit, People notice. Like they really, I don't know if they care, but they notice. And it had to be blue. Yes. So there was like a little blue thing going on between us, wasn't there?
Yes, white and blue. I just felt it.
And white and blue makes silver, so...
I have yet to understand all the connections you make, but I feel them.
You feel them.
I feel they connect.
Yeah. So when Evelyn arrived this morning, we thought, we're just going to wing the show today. We're not going to plot and plan and do anything. We're going to come downstairs, have a chat, play with some colour, and just have a lot of fun. So we do hope that you enjoy it. And if you're enjoying the show and you like what we're chatting about, please you need to share.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And also remember that at the end of the show we're going to give you a little color message. So I'd like you to feel, are you drawn to number 1 today? Are you drawn to number 2? Or are you drawn to number 3? And whichever number you are drawn to, that is going to be a little color message for you as your color pick of the week at the end of the show with the reveal. So let's see who's tuning in. Shannon says, good morning, lovely ladies. Hello, lovely Shannon. She's my other producer. Isn't she amazing?
She's amazing.
She just launched her own little show too.
She did, yes. The witch, something?
The word witch.
Yes, the word
witch. Well done.
It's
Congratulations.
so intriguing.
And Karen Carrington, hello, darling.
Good morning.
She's on. Good morning, Angel. Aurelia, she's wonderful. She's a die-hard fan of the show, and she's all the way from Denmark. She's an artist herself.
I can see with the emoji.
Yeah, she paints lovely, lovely art. Karen says, I never get to watch because I'm always working at this time at the office. Yeah. Michael, move the screen. I'm just going to give Michael a move the screen just over a little bit for me, okay? Because there's just a little drag.
Well, Karen, we're happy that you have today off.
Yeah,
such
fabulous.
a blessing.
Yeah. And where are you? Come on, take a day off and come and be on the set here.
Oh, she probably will after she sees it today.
Shannon says, pick number 3 for me. Oh, Shannon, you're going to love number 3. You're going to love number 3. That was my pick of the week. Right, Arjun, also number 3, Joanne. Hello, darling. Also, okay, so we get a couple of people coming in. Karen says, oh, yes, Moira, as talk show host, we don't wear the same thing twice. My husband's already given up saying, are we going shopping again? He just says, here's the keys, off you go. I asked him this morning, I said, darling, can I have the car this afternoon? He said, oh, okay, I know. He knows I'm going shopping.
I don't know if my cheekbones are going to hold up that thing by the end of the show. I'm already sore from smiling. Oh, Karen.
And also number 3. Oh my goodness, look at all the number 3s coming up. Oh, fabulous. We're so glad that you're finding the time to tune in, my angels. Please share the show in groups, with friends, in your timelines, and let's get people to join in because, we want to talk about color today.
Yes. I'm fascinated with the topic itself. Being an artist and always being intuitive about colors, I've never really been able to dive deep from an expert with so much wisdom. So I'm personally excited. If you guys find that I'm quiet, I think I'm just in a state of really taking so much of this in and holding my excitement back from what awakenings I'm actually going to be receiving today. So forgive my humbleness, but I'm just so excited, just like the viewers. I was like, where's the paintbrush?
Well, the Colour Mirror system is made by Melissa Jolly in South Africa. And Melissa started off her career, her working career studying psychology. That's what she did. And then she was mum and she growing up children. The children went to school and she went, what do I do now? And she decided to get a fine arts degree. And it was there that she discovered that art heals. And whenever people work with certain colours and colour combinations, it changed things for them. And she then worked with a colour system for many, many years in South Africa. And then in 2001, she gave birth to the Colour Mirror system. Wow. And it's a system that is so profound that we still to this day discover things about some of the color combinations that are there. It's still there's still new things coming out, and it is that deep. And it's also a system that grows with our evolution and our consciousness. So as we expand and we begin to remember more of who we are and where we're from and why we're here, bottles and they just seem to appear, and it happens. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's so powerful. I can only imagine when applied with the art practice, even more awakenings that happen, because you sometimes by accident create colors. You sometimes, if in the artist process, sometimes we're so eager to move into the next layer that a color mixes without drying, and then next thing you know, you're like, that was the perfect mistake, because there are no mistakes. It's a setup for the next phase of what becomes your style or what becomes your color theme. And I think that over the past year, there's a few people who have said, Evelyn, you have the same consistent colors that you use all the time, and I'm just in love with them. The evolution painting consists of some of those colors that I've been recently just drawn to, obsessed with. And so it's interesting because so many of the events that I do, I always just bring the primary colors. But I'm wondering if that's a restriction for some people to only bring a certain amount of colors in hopes that they can create their own. But at the same time, I just don't think some of those primary colors can create some of the colors that some people are ready for. So again, there's just so much that I think we're going to learn today. Audience, I'm here with you. I think I can almost jump on the both sides of this call right now, or the live, but I'm just excited overall.
So actually what I'm going to do, as I said, we're going to do our own thing today. We're going to play. We're going to do this thing on the cuff, right?
Yes.
So right now I want to ask you to draw a bottle that's behind you that you are drawn to and pop it on the light box.
All right.
And literally this is just one that says, this is where I'm at right now. This is who I am right now. This is just me right now in my life. So it's a very personal bottle, but it will be a color or a color combination that you can just feel. And the nice thing here is it's not your logic, your art mind that says, oh, I love this color, that's what I'm going to pick. It doesn't work like that. You feel it, and the energy of the system hits your body.
Yes, I'm feeling them behind me. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I should just do this. Oh, I think I might actually. I'm gonna just do that. There's one that was just.
Well, you can pick consciously as well. Just turn. You can actually turn your chair, and then you can have a little look and see which one draws you, Evelyn.
Ooh. You know what? I'm going to go with the one that actually called to me, which was this one. I could feel it. I could just feel it. And this is not a very common, well, it is a common color, but it's been a theme for me for the past year. So
yeah, and you're wearing the color.
I'm wearing
the color.
Yeah.
It's definitely there's tones of it in your painting as well. So and I asked for your date of birth before you arrived this morning. So I'm actually being sneaky. I'm not going to tell you her year. It's not nice to say a lady's age, but I can give you the numbers related to your date of birth. Right? You see what a nice host I am.
I know. So considerate.
So this is bottle C13. And this is to do with spirit voice. This is to do with bringing violet into your throat chakra and beginning to speak your spirit. So this is somebody who says, I'm getting ready to really teach what I know. I'm beginning to teach my spirituality. I'm beginning to allow myself to be used as a channel. And it's not just in art, because obviously in art you're doing that. This is definitely a channel painting, but it's going to be in teaching as well. So your art becoming a teaching process. And I have said to you, the minute I saw you this morning, you're gonna study with me. I know that it's going to happen, and that's what we do. Is we use the colorist system to help you become a teacher of color psychology and integrate that into the modalities like art that you have. Yeah, beautiful. So this is just a confirmation that we're on the right track here, girl.
Amazing. But I'd like sorry, as you were saying,
to double it up for you, your date of birth. You're born on the 23rd. Guess what? Just in case you didn't get the theme yet.
I actually want to support this. I want to add to this because some of you who may have seen the recent things that we've done, I partner with experts because I feel that I could communicate through art the message that an expert is trying to share that sometimes sits just on the logical brain. So I just bring it into the spirit, into the right brain, and I let the experience teach the lesson. And in doing the iridology, so it was the iridology workshop that I recently did, and I was the subject of the study. I went live. I did, I became very raw, and so there was a few things that the iridologist expressed to me that was my genetic, like hereditary upbringing in terms of what's been in me from genetics, as well as the energy that I've held and it was in the thyroid. There was a thyroid which is linked to, either an over communication of I justify a lot of myself over the years, because sometimes if people aren't understanding me, I just go on and on and on, and even if they get it, there's something that I'm not receiving that makes me go on. And
because it's important, these colors say it's important to be accepted,
yes,
to be heard. And you are born with having to come to master it, because your date of birth is the 23rd. This says this is the karma that's come with you and what you're going to be mastering, and not repeating it as a cycle in this lifetime.
Beautiful.
So it's about breaking that pattern,
yes,
of trying to justify who you are, get people to accept who you are,
yes,
to have them validate you, to have them applaud
all of
you.
that.
It's about letting it all go.
Yeah, it's really shown up.
It's spot on to
it
the story.
is, and that's why when we got both of these, and I'm wearing this, and Yatutska, who I just saw got online, and she's been, she actually, we'll get into a bit more of her role in, she's a moon goddess of Niagara Falls, and she's really helped me understand the cosmic energies and what's influencing me. And there's been a lot of connection with especially the science that's confirming the spirituality. Sometimes we don't have the explanations, right? And even the art doesn't explain fully what I'm feeling. But now we're tying in all the modalities of science and art. And so to be able to share without feeling the need to justify has been something that I realize is the next phase. But it's interesting because it's been one of the issues that has recently come up in how I'm going to be able to, first of all, I've been working on it energetically by putting my mind in my body and getting into a practice of just the connection consciously. But this is just profound already. I'm just already blown away.
So I'll explain this to you.
Wow.
For any of our viewers who are interested to see how the color mirror system and the color works, this is the color that's in your auric field right now. So you literally pick your colors through the colors that you can't see. That is your energy field. That is almost the coding system of everything to do with your emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual wellness at this stage. So colors just say this is what you're dealing with. That's why it's 100% accurate.
Oh, wow.
It's absolutely awesome.
Yes.
The lovely thing about color mirrors is with Melissa's system we can take it a step further into healing, self-healing empowerment. So instead of me sitting here and talking for hours and weeks and months about this process, this karma, this pattern you have, and trying to break it, it's very simple. It just says, well, you go take your bottle, go pour it in a bath in the privacy of your own bathroom, you sit and you allow the therapy of the oils and the frequency of the colors to go into your cells, delete it for you, activate something else in its place, which is magnificent and more powerful part of you that you can access, and you pull the plug and it's done.
This is amazing.
And the next time you're with somebody and they resist you in some way, you wouldn't give a damn.
No.
You'll just go, well, that's okay, they're not ready, and you'd move on. You could, normally I would be like trying to justify myself and and it will just suddenly change for you. And I've been working with the system since 2002, and that's exactly how it works.
Wow.
100% every single time without fail. Isn't that awesome?
This is amazing. And how fitting is it? So for I'm not sure if you know, some people know more about me than I realize because it's all on social media, but I've recently become selected to be on the Arts and Culture Committee of Niagara Falls.
Beautiful.
And I'm the youngest committee member. And I bring new modalities, this millennial kind of approach to digital era and all these things that are happening that are really working for other cities, but now having to be the voice of what is going to stand for art in Niagara Falls as the new way. And there's so many ideas that I'm in the works of having to know how to present, because it will change the entire way art has been approached in Niagara Falls up until now. And they're very conservative with how they approach. And so I just feel like I can't wait to take a bath and then, go to the next committee meeting, because
and just be the influencer you are. That's
yes.
it. Just turn up with that energy that says, I'm an influencer. And because if that karmic block is removed from your throat chakra, it means that you're not going to go in with a feeling of, I have to get my point of view across to them. You simply turn up with your energy. That's been removed. And what's been cleared is, oh, we better listen to this woman because she knows what she's talking about.
Yes, and you said
that's
that.
That's what happens.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what? That just makes being on the committee that much more of a lighter feeling. Because when you feel the need to have to, one of the things that I've realized is the power of visual language, which is what I do as art. And the first meeting I said, I'm not going to go and tell them anything. I'm going to show them. Yeah. There's no trying to, and so it's already, so one of the things about the iridology assessment, when he did it, he said that this are your issues. You've anger, anxiety, and thyroid communication. He said, but the beautiful thing is that it's showing the fading, which means it's in the process of healing. So the past year has been a process of healing, which is no wonder why now we are in synchronicity. So while you've said you've had your own for a while, I don't think I was ready for you
now. You are
until
ready
now.
You are ready to teach, girl.
Yeah.
So, and I'll tell you why, because your 23 that you're born on comes to a number 5, and that's Mercury. And that is everything to do with communication. So I'll just put it there so you can see a little bit. So the planet, it's a planet Mercury. It relates to communication, but 5 to me is also that 5 fingers networking going into the 5 different corners, and it's about global work. This isn't about just doing it, in Niagara Falls. This is it's your footing, it's your foundation, but this is about your influence going out into the world.
Beautiful.
And people understanding and listening to you. This color combination often says that to get to this point, we have to go through a process of self-persecution first. We have to be really hard on ourselves, right?
If it hasn't already been done,
and
it's definitely happening.
But it's great because there comes a time, when you do flip that switch and you go into that. You know what? I don't need to beat myself up. I don't have to struggle. To be who I am and to show people who I am, and it becomes a much gentler and more elegant process. So that's coming up for you.
Wow. And this is such a fun conversation. I'm glad there was no itinerary to our conversation because there is so much that comes up that is showing how aligned and accurate a lot of this is. And if I could share, which by the way, it's such an honor to be on this show. I never got the opportunity to actually thank you for trusting the process, for inviting me, Shannon as well, for following up and for really just making this happen. Because unless I have someone invite me, it's hard, the opportunities we seek, it's just now things are coming. So I just want to say it's just such an honor to be here because it is going to be the propelling it to the next level. And I could already feel it because there are things that are confirming, there are things that I already know that I feel, but the truth is, the reality is that the logical brain kicks in sometimes and then it starts to analyze what you're currently doing, the decisions that we're making, and then it influences the feelings sometimes that we have. And so when going back to the number 5, a huge part of one of the collaborative experiences of creating, the workshop experience is truly helping people activate those 5 senses and getting them to be able to go into the 6th sense, which is we're doing. The art is to help people activate the next level, which is the next sense. The global aspect about it, I'm not even allowed to share some of the information, but I recently worked on a project that is now nominated for a global award. Yeah. And so there is a lot of and then in alignment to the calendar, which we will show later, the featured Napoleon Hill, I write a definite major purpose every single morning between 5 and 6 a.m. Twilight zone. Yututska likes to say it's the twilight zone. You're catching the twilight zone. I'm like, no wonder. Where it's like a mastermind with God. And I write the command, I summon the command, and then I draw the command. Where it's to become one of the most influential artists, the most influential artist of the digital era, which means still holding space for my traditional work because it's what keeps my body aligned, and actually bringing the opportunity for all artists to say, look, the digital era is not something to look down on, but to say it's allowing us to be global impact leaders. And using technology these days with the city of Cambridge, we've recently been able to project digital hand-drawn artwork onto buildings.
Yes. Oh, I love
which surpasses my dream for working for Disney. If you only knew, there's now new ways for artists to get their work on the big screen. And it has nothing to do with a screen that takes you, waiting for someone else's job to fall off for you to get the opportunity to showcase. But it's really being able to have that opportunity to open the doors and say, look, I won't be the artist who is the best, but I'll be the one who's bringing the reality for everyone to say, play with art, play with the creative imagination, get away from the synthetic imagination, see beyond the box.
Absolutely.
So
if I'd looked at the rest of your date of birth, I'll take it a step further for you, shall I? This was only the day she was born. Right. So you come to a 34, and 3 plus 4 makes 7.
Wow. I don't even know what this means, but I'm excited.
So 34 is called the whale bottle, and it's to do with the consciousness of whales and dolphins, and it's to do with the memory of Atlantis, and it's to do with remembering a time when we had nirvana, when we had heaven on earth, a culture or society, whether it was real or imagined by Plato, it doesn't matter. It's a it just says, I'm here to recreate that moment. I'm here to show people how to have heaven on earth. I'm here to help them remember and download. So literally what I said about you changing your cellular memory and activating more of your potential inside of you with color frequency and walking into a room and having that presence, that's what 34/7s can do.
Wow.
People walk in and they go, oh, there's something about that. There's something about that woman or that man. There's something there, and I want to know who they are. It's a presence that you have, and certainly this is what what you are developing in your lifetime. Wow. And then the 7 is the spiritual teacher. It links to the planet Neptune, which is all about the water god, the under the sea, Neptune, the god of the sea. And this is about spiritual teaching and making a difference on the planet through spiritual energy. And turquoise is everything to do with the arts as well. So, and turquoise is a color that sits between the throat, it's blue, and the green of the heart chakra. So it's communicating the heart, it's communicating feelings. Of course, you have to first master all of this stuff as you're growing older. And you get to, like I said, you get to a stage where you flip a switch and then you start actually being it. So for you, it has been this, please hear me, please somebody validate me, please somebody understand what I'm saying. I know I'm here to say and do and be something important. And then when people don't feel it or they don't buy into it, it can be very frustrating.
It's very frustrating.
You just want to tell them all to bugger off and leave the planet and go, you'll be sorry I'm gone, kind of thing. It's like a kid throwing toys out the cot. But eventually it gets to that stage where that little flip happens and you're in that space because you picked C13, the voice, the spirit voice, which is you're in such a crucial moment of development. Right now in your life is probably one of the most important moments in your life. You're about to flip it into that where it just becomes a presence. And you don't get challenged, you get accepted, you create, the followers start coming towards you, things begin to happen for you.
Wow.
So do you want to know why I know so much about 34/7?
Why? You were, yes. No wonder. And that's why this is meant to be.
Yeah, 34/7. So I so understand it. And 34/7s, I have a lot of 34/7s who come onto my academy and study with me because we understand each other very deeply. And we know that we need to support, because we are bringing 34/7s bring in a new way of working, new systems. They bring in new technology. They bring in, and because the technology, the digital art sits there. So yeah.
Beautiful. That's so powerful and profound. I received a message when I first embarked about 12 months ago. I first embarked and it was with an event called Kuraba, which was from the Ivory Coast, and it was a group. It was a concert that was where the Ivory Coast musicians came to present instruments that were created as the voice of gods. Where the music was played as storytelling. Wow. So the very first painting, which some of you guys might have seen, it's in the calendar, but it's all with them. It's actually in the second. It's actually for today. It's this month's. It's actually this month's. It's February's painting. So this was
on the table, and Michael will show it up. Just flatten it out.
So this one here was created in Ivory Coast. I painted this before even experiencing the actual event, which they were all black musicians. But one of the messages that I received from the woman who brought me on board, a very powerful woman, you could tell she had ancient wisdom to share with me. She said, all of the secrets of the universe are hidden in the arts. That's what she shared with me. And I realized that was the moment that I thought, well then, everything that I know about art and every message that I have to share is about bringing and revealing some information that has been suppressed. It wasn't allowed to be revealed because it empowered people. It empowered the conscious mind. It allowed us to reach higher levels. And the rulers suppressed art because it was a way of people accessing information. And so when she said that to me, I said, okay, well, not only do I need to bring this information forward, but the more people I encourage to create, the more wisdom I can download from them as well. And so when I share with people the importance and the value of why it's important for them to create, is because I've removed myself from a place of being such a great artist where people thought that they were just too intimidated to create around me. They didn't want to express because they thought I would judge, or I would look and say, well, my 20 years experience would say that this angle is wrong, and I gave people a safe space to say, that's not my role. I'm finding a solution in a business where as an entrepreneur, I'm trying to solve a problem. And so now there's this space where people are creating and purging and releasing, and their past, their present, and their future experiences are coming through, and they don't even know that they're giving me information and insight that is beyond what we are feeling and seeing in this physical realm. And that's become my purpose, is to just say, hey guys, like, you will access information about yourself that you didn't even realize you desired.
And that's exactly what color does.
Yeah. And then going to the Atlantis, it's bringing forth the first birthright of communication that we were born with, is through visual arts, is a form of communication that the moment we created words and language, we divided our ability to connect, because now words and even the vibration behind the words connected to a different language and a resonance changes our interaction. And then I take it one step further and I said, guys, have we not realized that every visual description we see of a word, a letter, is art? It's a combination of symbols to create a sound, which means at the end of the day, words, communication that is now taken to high level speaking, has always originated from the symbol of our visual download. It's just, there's so much that I've learned about art in my own way that is, I mean, this is huge now, because it now continues to allow me to say, you know, I've tried to connect too much on the logical mind again. I said, I want to connect to people's logical brain, which is why I partner with experts who are in the science world, because they validate so much of the things that I bring that helps them through art. But now
that's
it's like,
exactly a 34/7's journey.
Yeah.
We want to know the science behind it. We don't just take it on face value. Because we know, we feel things intuitively and so deeply and instantly, we know that we will be challenged by that, and then we go, okay, let's back it up with a little bit of evidence.
Yes.
Let's bring in,
Yes.
and if we don't, we will find a case study, a testimonial,
Absolutely.
something to back it up.
Absolutely.
It's a hugely a 34/7's journey.
Wow, that's so profound.
And I think,
Thank you.
and certainly in the practice I've had since 2002, I've taught a lot of people in the medical profession, the science profession as well. They love the colors. They understand it because it's logic and it makes sense.
Yes.
It isn't a fluffy, wishful. It
No.
it really does
Yeah.
work. It really
Absolutely.
it's an integral part of what makes up us as human beings.
Even one of my really good friends, for about 20 years of my relationship with her, who's mainly featured in this calendar, who's bringing evolution to every platform she can, her number is 7. And every time, whether
you will
in
have
sports,
a connection with 7s.
all the time, yeah, I find that there's something about 7s that my life path number apparently is 7. So there's so much.
That is your life path number.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is it.
that's where you got it from as well. Like, I'm turning
Thank
this
you.
age. Did you know that? I guess it's based off my.
I didn't give it away. She did. Let's just go back to our audience and have a little look.
Wow, got really in there.
Carolyn Dixon has joined us. That's fantastic. Let's just have a look who else has joined us. And Dwayne has joined us. Number 7 people are awesome. Yes, you see we have a famous number 7 with us there. Jajiska says, reminds me of peacock colors. There we go. I completely resonate with Evelyn. It happened with me now as well. Magnetize the opportunity to come to us versus pushing and forcing them to happen. A completely different feeling. It is. Yeah. When things just land up and it's automatic. That's what Shannon has said there. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, it's wonderful. But Regina, Regina is actually overseas at the moment. She's from in Belize. Enjoying her lovely holiday in the sun and swimming in the ocean. Lucky girl. All right, that's fantastic. So just to remind you again, if you have just tuned in, please share this conversation. It's a very valuable conversation about the importance of color and art and how it unlocks all the memories of who we are, where we come from, and we begin to remember. And color can do that. It just unlocks. It's like a little big key that can go into your consciousness, and you can become more of yourself. And also know you can pick between 1, 2, and 3. And at the end of the show, we're going to reveal your pick of the week. So I want to come and talk a little bit about this painting now, girl. Tell me about it.
Well, this is the evolution painting. You know, it was such a journey just to fathom what I would create when I thought of the workshop, and I said, okay, how am I going to create a painting that can actually, in a visual, put together what I'm trying to describe about the higher conscious mind. And what does it even look like? You know, because one of the things we ask people is, what do you want in your life and what does that look like? So here I am sitting with myself being like, what does this look like? And I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to start going. And I stopped thinking. And so I'll share after in the link the time-lapse video to the process of this, because you'll never imagine what it looked like before it became this. And the truth is that there's still another layer to this, that I'm holding space for this painting before I reveal the second layer, which is to create the gold mind, the brain, that gold alchemy of, it's called, evolution is the alchemy of creative minds.
Evolution is the alchemy of creative minds. You are, okay, so I'm just going to say it, all right? She is so bloody in tune with the consciousness right now and the evolution that is actually happening right this minute. And she's already tuned into the color mirrors frequency. And I'm just going to explain, to the audience why. On Friday, Melissa Jolie, the founder of the system, made an announcement that there is a color combination bottle of violet and gold. And it is called Unlimited Wealth. And what it does is it activates the Midas touch, our ability to create value. It also will delete patterns where we don't have self-value, where we don't believe in our own abilities. It will activate wealth for you, whether it's wealth of joy, wealth of peace, wealth of love, wealth of money, whatever it is you consider wealth to be, this bottle is going to do it. So what we've done is we've turned it into a major global event, an international event. And we've got people from all over the world in various countries joining us. We are going to get our hands on one of these bottles. And we are all going to bath in it on exactly the same day, the 21st of March, the spring equinox for us here in the north. So if you are in Canada and the US, we will put a link into the news feed that you can actually order your special bottle to be bought to. I'm going to import them in from South Africa, and we are going to commit to bathing in this bottle on the 21st of March.
Amazing.
And really with a huge intention to begin to shift humanity's conscious that we all deserve to be wealthy. We all deserve to have whatever it is we want, unlimited access to wealth. And of course you sit with a color combination of the gold and the violet here. You are so in that space. You need to actually bath in the bottle.
I will.
You need to be part of this process. Add your energy, because whoever's being part of this project, your unique energy is adding, and the more we have these incredible, powerful beings adding the energy to the pool, the more we can make a real difference. And I mentioned that I did a little launch video about the event on Saturday, and I mentioned that on Saturday morning in Venezuela they were talking about how food aid was being stopped by the military at the borders, and these people are starving. And we live in such a wealthy, abundant planet, and yet there are still powers that limit people just not even having wealth, just having basic necessities. And it's that kind of consciousness. We want to start shifting it. We want to put our energy in there and say, you know what, stop abusing your power as a military, as a politician, as a church leader, or even in education, in government. Just stop doing it, because the more we wake the masses up that they can create, they are God in a body, and they are creative, and they can create wealth. The more we do that, and if we take, because we already know that, you know that, I know that, most of our viewers watching this already know that.
Yes.
So let's all get together, bath in a bottle on the 21st of March, and let's shift global consciousness.
Yes. Can we bring our children into the bath?
Yes.
I will likely be bringing them into my bath.
Especially the children, because they're from the future. These kids that are on the planet, they're from the future. They come with such incredible vibration and energy.
And they chose me, right?
Yeah, we're all, our family is all doing it as well.
Amazing. They chose me. So I think that you mentioned they'll probably never leave my side. And the truth is, I think I may be okay with that, because where the leadership that they'll grow into is directly connected to my purpose. And I do want to mention that it's so interesting, because when I decided to burn all my bridges to any other art, the truth is, and we didn't get into my story, but it all started a few years ago when I became pregnant and I realized I was going to be on my own, and I was basically homeless. And I thought to myself, okay, this is an opportunity. And I've always been able to turn around opportunities, like Napoleon says, every downfall is an opportunity to turn it around. And I remember reaching out to one of my good friends who was an artist, and I said, I want to get into this traditional art. I want to let go of some of the digital art, because it was crippling my body and blocking all my fears were amplified, which is why I pulled away from the digital world. And I said, no, I need to return to my original. I was born for this. And in the moment, he began to mentor me, and he said, you know what, Evelyn, he donated some brushes to me because I really had no money to buy any supplies. And he said, and he channeled, and he said, gold leaf. And I said, what? He said, gold leaf. He said, gold leaf will be your signature style. And I was like, and so that's what it became, is that everything I do, I started very subtly with gold leaf, and then I started with the first painting of a horse with this gold mane, and it was the first shedding, and it was like saying goodbye to my ego, because it was the last time I did a painting of a horse that looks both male and feminine. It looks like a neutral horse that looks like it's owned by a god. And I did a horse of gold manes, and then after that, the first painting I did after was actually this one, which was literally, I painted it this way. And it was to completely start to go into the spiritual realm again, and to say I'm no longer painting subjects because I get so, my ego takes control. But anyways, the gold leaf was delivered to me as a message, and it became my signature style, to the point where then every signature and everything I started doing became gold. And I was actually told by someone that we're moving into, the gold is going to become the next phase of our consciousness. Gold is very
it's the
much
golden age of Aquarius.
Exactly.
And of course it's activating the Atlantean memory, that we can create a golden age. But there's something else about the gold that's important. So I see in January you've got the wheat gold there as well.
All of them
the
have
ego
gold.
resides in yellow, and my will. And when you add a drop of pink to it, it turns it gold, right? Pink is love. So when you add
Magenta,
love to your
yes.
ego, it becomes this beautiful gold. And so that's what this whole drawing to wealth and to the gold frequency for you is.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that's also what started the whole alchemy of creative minds. I originally want of gold minds, which alchemy of gold minds, alchemy of creative minds. I feel that a gold mind is a mind that can turn anything into gold. And that's where I realized that it's the process that I can share with people. Because a lot of entrepreneurs would come with me with their visions, and I would be able to see their vision at such a level that I couldn't even share with them again, because they would be like, are you listening to me? I'm like, are you listening to me? And I actually used to tell some people, like, I'm the gold mind. I'm the one that can turn your idea. If you let me share your vision and bring it into art, you will see what people connect to when they see what you're trying to describe, because the data is beyond us at this point. It's all about the information. So going back to the evolution, it became a process of literally trying to say, how am I going to describe this process? And the very first thing that the evolution workshop was categorized was a relationship mastery program. It was basically where couples would be able to come. Because at the time, my boyfriend Armin, what we were doing was we were trying to create vision board. We were creating a vision board together, and every time I had an idea, I would draw it out, and he started to see directly what was going on in my mind. And we realized that there's power and then he would start to try to draw things out, and I would see what's going on in his mind, whether the drawing was good or not. And so through the drawing process, we realized it's very clear what's in our minds. And this is how we were able to see where he wanted what. And we thought, if we can bring this to people, then couples will actually start to say, hey, you're either for me or not, because your future looks like this, and understand where they're going, so you know if this is the person you're meant to be with or not. Because if you have a different vision, at least understand and respect it, or find a way to make the visions connect. Beautiful. So it started off as just a relationship awareness, and then it became, my mother, she took the first workshop, she's like, Evelyn, this is a self-awareness workshop. Yes. You become so aware of yourself, forget about your partner, you get to see what's going on in your own mind, and you start to, because at the end we anchor it to a painting where it's not it just looks like a portal, which all my paintings look like portals, where you're just anchoring a portal with the intention and your vision infused into it, so you're actually seeing the world beyond where you're standing, so that you are anchored to your vision. And then so what I started to do was, the painting was, okay, it's a couples mastery program. So let me create a masculine and a female energy. And so as the painting evolved over time, because I would receive different energies through different phases of the moon, through different, what I'm going through as a human being. Sometimes I was angry, sometimes I was happy. And so all these energies are actually being infused, and I would have to sage it, because I'm like, let me cleanse some of those energies that don't support. And then what it began to evolve into was the beautiful harmony between the left and the right brain.
That's it.
And it became about how to activate our full inner conscious mind.
And the inner male and female.
In the inner masculine and feminine.
Because if you can't fix your relationship on the outer world with your partner, if your inner male and females are balanced.
So it was nothing to do with people being connected. It's connecting the relationship between the right and the left brain, which is all about the infinity loop. So I was like, oh my God, this is what it's becoming. And so it no longer had an identity of masculine, feminine, although it does look like it. But it became about
But you do know,
harmony.
you name something evolution, there's going to be an evolution.
Oh, it's going to evolve. It's evolving. And then it became it became the relationship between the right and the left brain hemisphere. And then there was all these types of loops that looped them together, and then those disappeared throughout the evolution of this. Then the gold minds, this is the mastermind between the two hemispheres, which becomes the one conscious mind. And then, which is the next level to this, I'm actually going to be taking this one step further to add the final layer, which will be, if you see a bit of the infinity loop, this is a brain. This is actually a huge conscious awakened brain. And so that's what the evolution sort of painting represents. And what it represents is to evolve your own consciousness through art. So whether you're drawing or painting, you're activating both of the brains. And when I found out the science of the fact that only 2% of our brain is logical and 98% of our brain is creative, I'm like, but people are using only logic, which means, and there was a study done. A doctor, she said, if you were to weigh in grams, 2% of the brain, then she's like, the grams amount of weight that you're using in your brain was like a teaspoon of your brain's weight capacity. And she's like, that's ridiculous. Like, how can we only be using such a small portion of our brains? And to activate your intuition, they called it, was to use the creative brain. So I'm like, oh my God, I need to just be supporting people in activating the right brain. And just like you cannot activate certain muscles without working out, you cannot activate the creative brain without art.
A lovely way for color mirrors to introduce art is we train our practitioners and teachers to run workshops where they look at the soul colors that you are born on, because these are the rays that you came in and incarnated through to be on the planet, and then they go and pick the paint in these colors and they create Beautiful. A painting. And it starts off by just looking at your soul colors. Other times is what's going on in your life. Pick the colors that you're drawn to, and then go and paint that painting and do the healing as well. So we already work with art, with color mirrors, and exactly everything you say. That's exactly what happens.
Yes,
color. It's a key. As I said earlier, it's a key, and it just unlocks and unlocks.
Absolutely, and that's when we said we're just like we're going to be working together, because this value is.
Oh, we will.
And I started off my journey again by doing paint night. So many of you guys know, you go to a paint night, you go to a restaurant, and you're guided from a step. It's the algorithm of paint. You're guided through a process to get an outcome. But I kept pulling away from that approach. I just said that approach doesn't resonate, because there's too many things that are happening in that process where people are beginning to compare themselves. They're comparing themselves to me, and I've done the painting maybe 10 times. I could do it with my eyes closed, and so they're saying, oh, you're so good, and I'm not. And I'm like, this is not why I'm here. And I actually had to explain to the company I was working with that I will be branching off and doing workshops very similar, but I will give them the freedom of choice of choosing their own color and choosing their own subject and creating portals of their own choice, because people will feel the whole psychology changes when they're given the choice to go with what they feel, instead of me telling them what to do, and the entire time they're nervous. So it was interesting, because intuitively I had to move away from the traditional paint night, which is what people say, but people need to know what they're going to paint when they come, and I'm like, or they don't have to. I mean, if I can get to this point where I'm creating that vibration and attracting them to just wanting to be in the room, then we will see what unfolds. And that's what every live painting I've done is, I will see what unfolds when I get there. The only thing that I plan is that the people say, like the Karen Carrington show, some of the book launches, some of the people have actually said, okay, these are the themes of my color for my show. Can you bring those colors? And Sarah DeFelice was another one who brought me into her 5D TV network. And she asked me to bring these colors as a way of, creating a painting surrounding that. So that's the only time I've actually been limited.
I was at the event when you did that one. I watched you create that
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's the only time I actually limited myself to a free, but that's okay, because I'm supporting the intention, supporting the color theory behind that message. So anyways, I just wanted to share that.
Fabulous. So let's have a look at what this evolution looks like in colors. So one of the things you asked me to do was to look at the meaning of your name in colors, the evolution. And it's spelled EVA, so it's an unusual spelling, all right? So so Michael will put that up on screen now. And what we have is we look at consonants and vowels. So the consonants in the name evolution means the message that is reaching your clients, your students, whoever it is that you're intending to serve. Your vowels is going to be what is the underlying. We call it the internal affairs, but we also call it the underlying almost principles and policies and things that underpin who you are and why you do what you do. So we had a look at what the colors came to, and if you add up your consonants, it comes to 14 and 5. And so there goes your turquoise again. Just look how closely in line you are with this. Okay, so there's 14 and 5 that are your consonants. And I just want to make an extra note here. In the color mirror system, if you add the turquoise and green, it makes the C4 heart chakra bottle. Wow. So I'm actually going to just leave it there. But so what happens is anybody who you invite to be a part of your evolution project, to come on your workshops, to be just part of the whole calendar event as well, understand that you're coming from the heart. It's a declaration. The minute they say the name, it's something that says, I come from the heart. Wow.
Wow.
But also your purpose, you've got two of your soul color purposes sitting right there. You've got the turquoise and the green sitting right there. So the people know that you are on life purpose yourself. You are on a soul purpose. They understand that they're doing this and connecting with you because this is what you're meant to be doing.
Wow.
It's that simple.
Yeah. All of this actually got activated, and I will admit that it was my partner who helped me come up with this name. And there was so much about everything that I'm teaching, that I share, that actually was through the experience of having been with someone who was my logical thinker for me, and while I stayed on the other thought. And it's just interesting that it's when you allow certain people into your life to deliver a message that is meant to be heard, that you're just not hearing it from anyone else, that everything starts to connect. Because while they'll say, no, this was you, and I'll say, well, you helped me get there, they're going to say, no, this is you, and we're just going to always go back and forth of giving the blame game on the best case scenario. It's just really interesting because there's so much about this that was not open until this person brought love into my life and actually began the healing process through just acts of love and acts of kindness. And it's shifted my world. It's brought a 20-year relationship that was sabotaged and broken. It mended that relationship, which is the number 7's journey back coming in. And so it's almost to say, as much as we can be intuitive to what's available from the cosmos and from the spiritual connections, realize that some of these spiritual connections come through people. And that's the most profound experience that I've realized, because I'm seeing all this and I'm just like, I can't help. This is the communication.
That's exactly what this is, that healing the heart. Yeah. Your instinct to bring couples in was correct.
Yes.
Because you knew the heart had to be healed. The name says the hearts have to be healed. So it's spot on.
Yeah, and before it became evolution, my hashtag was always hashtag art heals hearts. That was my hashtag, art heals hearts. And actually I still have some footage and videos that really share that was my, like, the step before evolution was that art is the way that it was my approach to say, look, we're healing the heart. That's what we're doing, and that's where we're going. Now, through the heart healing, it's activating the sixth sense, because I think it's one of the last senses. And then going back to the whole chakras, I always had a theory that I would share with yogis. And I'm like, you teach activating red and then you jump to orange. I go, but you haven't helped them activate the yellow, which is the combination of creating orange. So then wouldn't it make more sense for us to activate the primaries, and then by default the other ones are activated as well?
Oh, that's a fine idea. What do you think, color mirrors therapists out there? Come on, we'd love to hear from you what you think about
for
that.
For me, I just felt like it was just an easier concept to take on, that if I was to just focus on the red, focus on the blue, and focus on the on which the purple is the combination of the red and blue, because I was aware, I said, look, doesn't it make sense that yellow and blue make green, which I say communicating your passion is for me what became something that I was doing. Is like I'm trying to communicate my passion, and then we're born in a fetal position, so doesn't it make sense we're born in a circular shape, which the red and the blue make purple? I mean, there's no one comes before the other. I just didn't feel that. It never resonated with me. And so I've already been naturally kind of in tune to colors as a way of explaining my own epiphanies. Yeah. But I'm just so excited to be able to take more of this on and share it through the evolution. The evolution is going to evolve big time after this, guys. If you haven't come to it before.
Let's move you on to 24, girl. So your vowels is bottle number 24 in the color mirror system, and it is also bottle number 6, because 2 and 4 make 6. So this says, and 24 is all about love, money, and magic. And so literally, and 6 is Venus, the planet of love. And pink is the color of love and money. So there is this whole 24/6 is all about the law of attraction and creating wealth. So right at the core of the belief that you have, what you're going to be doing for people is to activate their ability for that unlimited wealth we were talking about earlier. That's going to be the color mirrors process on the 21st of March.
Wow.
So it just sits there, and it says take care of wherever you've separated yourself from wealth, from love, from joy, from peace, because whenever you have like the essentially a combination of what's really red and green here, and red and green is about separation, and the 24 and the 6 is bringing them together, but bringing them together in love and money, bringing them together in a sense of beauty, because pink is very feminine as well, right? And it's activating the feminine creativity. So Yeah, and I love that Venus sits there and carries your project. I just love it. I love the pink.
I'm gonna have my moon goddess being like blowing her mind after when she comes to share all this connections of, you guys speak the same language, but you're getting the same download through color theory. She got it through the same study in other ways, but this resonates.
Completely.
Absolutely. Wow.
And then when you add them all up together, it comes to the number 38. And the 38th bottle, because there's the bottles are numbered 1 to 36, and then there's a C1, C2, and so C1 then becomes 37 and so on. So C2 is the sacral chakra bottle.
Wow.
It's orange and gold. And that is the one that is 38. And then, of course, 3 and 8 makes 11. So there you go.
What is that?
Yin and yang.
Wow.
So it's
amazing.
mastery as well, because it's
Yes.
a double-digit number. So anybody who has a business or even a life path number, and it comes to a double digit, 11, 22, 33, they're here to do something profound. They're here to do something really, really important. But look at that 11 again, because there sits the two pillars standing next to each other.
Yes.
And there sits your 11.
Wow.
You got that?
This
By
is
the way,
amazing.
we'd not seen this painting till today.
Wow.
But let's just go back to C2. C2 and the sacral chakra is about releasing the shocks around relationships, what splits people up, what splinters you within yourself as well. Orange heals shock and trauma so beautifully. It's also about sexuality. So if your intimacy and your sexuality is not in balance as a couple, or within yourself, you still carry trauma or shock around sexual abuse, whether it's this lifetime or previous lifetimes. It says here that the workshops you do is actually going to bring that to the forefront, and it's going to heal that for people as well.
Wow.
And it's a very important part of bringing yourself into healing, is to heal issues that sit in your sacral chakra.
Wow.
Then the 11, as I said, is mastery. It's the porthole. It says I'm opening up, bringing people together, bringing them into balance, and creating that they can work together. But really, really big spiritual thing that you're here to do, my goal, and this is what 34/7s are here to do. It's the code. I might as well tell you, if anybody who's a 34/7, and Amy Burrows, I'm looking at you too. Anybody who's a 34/7, you're here to help humanity shift out of judgment of themselves and each other, out of separation, because that's really what this is. So your project is able to do that. Is when you stop judging yourself as not perfect, not good enough, not whatever the not enough is, you are going to make a huge, huge dent in consciousness.
Wow.
That if we can begin to see that everything is perfect, every single thing is perfect. I was watching some of the Oscars last night, and of course they're all beautiful, and their gowns are beautiful, and I mean I so admire all the colors that they were wearing, and really did you see JLo's mirror dress? I mean, she wore a mirror dress. It looked like it was cutting her a little bit, but she really looked beautiful. And my thought was, whenever we see these actors and actresses in their individual movies, we go, oh my word, are they just so awesome, and they're so gorgeous, and they're so powerful. But now when they're all suddenly together on a stage, you look at the one, oh, he's actually a little bit short, and she's a little bit tall, and she's a bit thin, and she's a little bit chubby, and she's got a little bit flabby on the arm. And you suddenly have them all together, and you suddenly see the imperfections, what the camera hasn't taken care of, right? And it's such a wonderful moment to just realize that we are all perfect as we are.
Yes.
We like to have a perception of we should be or look or do something different with our lives and our bodies and the way we participate in life, but it doesn't matter. This just says that no matter what anybody has done in their life, no matter what you've done in your life, everything has been perfect. And there's no need to judge it. So don't look back on your life and judge. You could have done something better or different. Don't look ahead and go, I should be doing it better. There's no should, woulds and coulds. Let them all go. And your project will help people come into that alignment of accepting themselves as perfect for who they are right there in that moment.
This is so profound. I can't tell you how many times I've held back the tears. This is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And when it comes to this one, I'll tell you, after the iridology, one of the biggest issues I've had is within this whole section. After I had my twins, I had 3 surgeries. I had a C-section, I had a cyst the size of an ovary, and then I had a hernia. And then there's like, then there's colon issues. There's so much of, part of this has been the splinting, as you mentioned, the splinters of my own not good enough, and my ex-partner was very verbally abusive and took away all, like, as if all these were there in my horizon, he like took them, smashed them and mixed them up and just said, good luck putting it back together. And so it was literally a community that helped me realize that the worth again because of that presence that I brought in. But this is no coincidence, I guess, that it's a part of this, because it's my main focus in my healing process right now.
It's also the seat of sociability. It is where you allow members of your community to come in and support you. How else do you get over the shock?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's finding a safe space that you can be held and nurtured and loved again. And
raising the boys, like even in a matriarch almost, for me, has been something that I've accepted as a beautiful thing. You know, when you think of masculine and feminine and having the right male influence on them, and it's like, and at the time I was always being a masculine and feminine. I was a child ego. I was always in my child ego state, justifying everything. And I was spoken to like a child for most of my life, even to this day. And it's one of those things where until I took this verbal Aikido course, and he said, you are dominantly in a child ego state. It's always holding your mic. I was like, oh my God. And so that's when there's so many shifts that started happening, that realized that I in order to raise my sons and be myself, I must move back into my feminine state again.
And how old are the boys now?
They're 3 years old. Yeah, they're so little. They're 3, and they're
little twins.
They're little twin boys. They're my mirrors in so many ways. And every time I go into any event, I say I'm here because I'm aware that they are reflective of me. Yeah. I'm seeing things in them that I realize are because of me. I'm here to shift me so I can influence them.
And every age they get to is going to be your age that you heal in your past as well. They'll mirror that to you. So I did write a few words down for you there. So Michael can put that on the screen so the viewers can watch as well. So you just turn it so I can see it, darling. There you go. All right. So turquoise and green make your C4 bottle, heart chakra. Clients get that you're coming from the heart-centered word that promises space, which is green for new things to grow, and the vision is supported by technology and the arts. So I wrote this on Friday for you.
Yes.
Then this is when I tuned into the name of your business. The 24/6 Magenta and olive is about working consciously with the law of attraction, and pink is love and money. So this project would benefit from following some law of attraction principles as its blueprint, and also teaching people about the law of attraction, by the way.
Right.
And then it has the power. It has the potential to become a wealth creation and collaborative success. Needs an investment of time.
Wow.
Magenta relates to time. All right, to gain a following and get a proven track record. So you need to nurture this to just evolve and grow and become what it needs to be. And over time, it's actually going to prove itself.
Yes.
So you don't have to try and convince people of anything.
No.
You just keep saying to people, "Turn up, let's play. Turn up, let's play. Turn up, let's play," and then it will just start doing that.
Beautiful.
All right. Then your C2 and 11, orange is creativity and gold is wealth and authenticity. Work through issues of past shocks and disappointments and allow your creative self to make magic. The black and white says you can help people shift from judgments into acceptance that everything is perfect. Night and day have equal value. Help heal what lies in the shadows and bring it into the light.
Wow.
So, very much the child's voice that you have, that wounded inner child that really took over your consciousness so often. It says here that you'll be able to help people heal that too.
Beautiful. Beautiful. This is so powerful. I can't wait to start introducing this into the workshops and to let it really have more intention behind how it is.
And words. And to give people the words to it. Because, now you're sitting with words related to what essentially is just the name of the business.
Yes.
But now it's almost like having a mission statement now.
Oh my God.
That's exactly
what value
it is.
This is. Like, I would pay, I don't even know how much for this. And here you are just offering it. What you do is so incredible. And you really do help so many entrepreneurs that it's just, your purpose is definitely to support us getting to the next level, to continue our mission together. Yeah. And I've always had a vision
That's exactly it. You're ready.
Yeah.
You're ready.
I've always had a vision of, I've been a very fast-paced person my whole life. Speed is my game. Like, I sprint and I'm the fastest runner on my soccer teams. I've always been the fastest speaker, and like, one of the things I realized that I would always get so ahead of life that I would look and I'd be by myself. And so I've slowed it down and I've held hands and I said, let's walk this world together. Who wants to be alone? The same thing about art. When people are like, you're so good. I'm like, now I stand on a pedestal alone. How do I bring either everyone up or go there? And I said, I won't go down. So let's meet in the middle. And so this
my
is beautiful.
darling, we've got to wrap up our show. I want to just say to everybody who has been, look, there Susan says my twins are going to be 36. They are so different. Oh, cute. Yes, Susan and I had a chat the other day because I'm married to a twin myself, so we had a little chat. So I wanted to thank you all so much for joining, and I hope you've been sharing this incredible show, but I really would like to just give you your little colour message for the week coming up. So if you have picked bottle number 1, you have picked our guest Evelyn Bailey's pick, and it is the Lilac Dragon. So I'm actually going to get you a little spray of this one. So you spray it on the hand like that, you rub it and you breathe it in, and you'll notice that it's got a little bit of kind of like a glittery little feel to it. So dragon energy is always about removing a boulder in your way, removing a block, removing something that feels a little bit unsurmountable. Like there's always like a pattern that keeps recurring, and you go, oh, I wish I could just get rid of it. And literally a dragon comes with its dragon breath and just blows it out of the way. So this is a week to just notice what pattern comes up that repeats itself on a cycle. Every few years it pops its head up, and it seems to want to interfere or stop you in some way, or block you in some way, make you doubt yourself in some way. This is a week to just blast it to the ether. So I want you to, when it comes up, don't go into panic, don't go into too deep analysis, don't go anywhere. Just take a deep breath and say to yourself, my lilac dragon's on it. That's it. And if you want to visualize it, visualize a Disney lilac colored kind of dragon coming and just blasting the problem. Say it's your problem, not mine. Literally hand it over to the dragon energy to take care of for you. Okay, it's a little bit spiritual support coming in for you this week, for those of you who picked number 1. So those of you, is that okay?
Yes, it's perfect.
Right, those of you who picked number 2, you have picked Michael the producer's pick, and it's peridot, and it's a pale green bottle. And we've been talking about all this green heart scented energy, and I better get you to smell this one as well, girl. You can just spray it over that one. And this is about that precious peridot gemstone, and this is about activating the precious heart inside of you, that literally the gems inside of you. And the green is about reaching out to other people. So those of you who've picked number 2, this is about reaching out and connecting with people heart to heart. So this is a lovely week for you to connect with old friends, old flames, old any people that suddenly pop into your mind. There's a reason they pop into your mind, because they're thinking of you, they're missing you, they want to hear from you. And then please make a connection, send them a loving message, just say hi, just thinking of you, give them a heart emoji, do something that creates a connection, and that comes from the heart, for those of you who picked number 2. So those of you who've picked number 3, my angels, you've picked my one, and I know there was a couple of you in the beginning of the show who I saw you picking number 3 prolifically. So it's silver. Like I say, I'm kind of doing a little silver thing here today in my accessories.
It's interesting. I took off my pearls to put on silver too.
You did too. I saw you try the silver one. So silver is, let me just get that energy. And so those of you who have picked it, I think what's coming up for us this week, for those of us who are doing silver in the number 3, is to really look into a mirror. Because silver has that backing in the glass that makes a mirror. So this is about looking in a mirror and being dead honest with ourselves. What would we like to change? And it's about being fully conscious in the moment. So I actually want to challenge all of you with me to go stand in front of a mirror. And it's not about looking at your size or your shape or your weight or your skin or your hair, or it's not about the aesthetics of your body. This is about looking deeply into your eyes, into your soul, and saying, right, what is the next phase of my life going to look like? What is it that I want, that my soul can speak more through me, act more through me? Because really that's what silver does. It's that little silver umbilical cord that goes right back to the planet that you're from, comes right back to your origins. And it's just about accessing some of those memories, letting it come through you, so that this next week can be a profound week for you, that you can do something really amazing that's going to have a long-term effect or support, or just do something really nice for humanity. All right. And my darlings, that's it for this week. Please remember to order your bottles with us by the 1st of March. That special bottle, Michael will quickly flash it on screen for you again. It is the gold and violet bottle, and it is to do with activating unlimited wealth. And unlimited wealth for love, money, joy, whatever it is, peace, whatever it is you want. It's a global initiative that Color Mirrors is taking. And Evelyn's also going to get a bottle. We are going to absolutely all dip into those colors on the 21st of March and change global perception around wealth.
Wow.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
I can't wait.
Was this okay, girl?
This was among one of the best experiences I've ever had. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on the show. I waited a long time, but I'm patient. My Color Mirror students, they know I often wait a long time for my beautiful flowers to arrive, and she is a beautiful flower. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful love and energy on the show. Really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing the show. We deeply appreciate. We love you. We'll see you next week. Thank you, angels.